Hey James, what are you able to do in these workouts? How close do you feel to a possible return out there?
I feel really good. Um, just trying to get my conditioning back. Just change the speeds, change the direction, making sure the power and the quickness is there to be able to move how I move. But so far so good. Today was really good, and we just got to keep building on that.
We see how involved you are, how engaged you are on the sidelines during games. Players have praised, the communication that you have. Internally, what's going on? Knowing how much you love the game and love being on the floor. Internally, what's going on as you watch these games and encourage your teammates from the sideline?
I feel like my voice is very very important, to the team. Obviously on the court, it's a lot better, but while I'm not active and able to play, I think my voice can be very very impactful. It's just trying to help guys, give guys nuggets here and there on what I see, and ultimately to help our team be better. And I think my communication can go a long way. So just try to stay involved as much as I can while I'm not physically out there to be on the court. But um, you know, just it's been tough. It's been very difficult, especially for me, just being out for the longest I've been, my whole career. So I just try to stay involved, try to keep that positive energy, and keep my voice involved.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post. Brian, you're muted.
Hey, James, how you doing? I am curious it's a two-part question. What is the actual next benchmark, I guess, that you have to hit in this rehab and this return? And secondly, are you fairly confident that by playoff time that you'd be ready to play?
Very, very, very confident. I guess the mark that I have to hit is the work that I did today. I have a couple of those without any feeling, and that's pretty much the mark. But I'm very confident that I'll be back before postseason. Yeah.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Greg.
James, sorry, I had to find my picture here. Basically, I just want to know, do you feel like you said you feel like you'll be back before the postseason? Is there any chance that you will play one or two games before the end of the regular? And also, the second part of the question, it seems so clear the Nets are missing your playmaking. What kind of difference do you feel you can make for them, later in the playoffs with your playmaking?
You're trying to get me on the first question. That's the plan. The plan is to hopefully get an opportunity to play a couple games before the postseason. We're just taking it one day at a time, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. And then for the next part, yeah, of course, like my playmaking and my scoring and the IQ and all that good stuff. But we've had a number of opportunities to win games that we didn't win, and it's because of the little things that we're not doing consistently, which maybe is because of practice time, maybe it's because of the schedules when we're playing games every other day. But we've had some really good film sessions the last few days on the small detailed things, the boxing out, the screening offensively, just the possessions like that to where we can control. And ultimately that's going to get us over the top as far as winning games. But as far as me individually, like everybody know what I bring to the table. And so I'm just patiently waiting to get back on the court and help the guys and ultimately, reach what we're trying to accomplish.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, James, both Steve Nash and Kevin recently have been talking about overcoming the lack of common history that you all have together playing. Watching what's been happening over the last couple of games.
For us, you know, you look at teams like Milwaukee, who's pretty much core has been together for some, you know, a few years now. They've been through, you know, the playoff trenches or whatnot. You know, so they got that chemistry. They've been through tough times. We haven't, you know, but I think that if we can just stay locked in on the detailed things like the rebounding, the basketball, like boxing out individually, screening, doing the small things, not trying to make the same mistakes defensively and offensively twice, and limiting our turnovers. I think if we can just things that we can control, if we could just do those things, it's going to be very, very difficult for teams to beat us. And so I'm just excited to get back. I love, you know, our energy and what we're doing right now, even though, you know, the wins and losses, the games, the outcomes of the games haven't shown, but I love where we are as a team. And, you know, once I get back, it's just uphill from there.
Thank you.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, James, I got two for you as well. Just when you had the setback with this injury, and I want to say you guys were in New Orleans, did you think you were close to returning at that point, or did you still have a ways to go even when you had that to get back on the court?
I thought I was returning, but then obviously the feeling still wasn't there. So you want to be patient. You want to be, you know, as much as I love the hoop, like I want to be out there. I want to be out there, but you got to be smart. And for me, it was just, all right, let's knock this thing out. Let's get this thing healthy so we can make a push. I think, and then for me, at this point in my career, I think, you know, going into postseasons, basically since I've, you know, been in Houston and whatnot, I've been playing heavy minutes, you know, whatever, just carrying the load. And this is an opportunity for me to get my body right going into the postseason with a clear mind and a clear body of, all right, you know, you got 16 games to win. And that's the ultimate goal. That's, you know, the reason why, you know, I came to Brooklyn. So just kind of gave me an opportunity to sit back, you know, think a little bit more, and get outside of myself and you know, show the expression and kind of help, you know, my teammates and coaches in any way that I can.
And then just my second one, you know, when you got traded here in January, you said you didn't really know Steve that well aside from playing against him. Just what do you think the biggest thing you've taken from him now that you've been coached by him for about 5 months or so?
How much of a, you know, genius he is as far as, you know, basketball. Like this, you know, he's elite, and that's obviously, you know, winning two MVPs, but just his basketball mind, his IQ is you know, above the charts, and our communication is constant. Like literally, you know, I think about basketball literally all day. You know, we had a film session yesterday, and you know, we talked about some things or whatnot, and just I was thinking about it the entire day, and I ended up calling Steve last night, and they felt the same way. He was thinking about the game, thinking about the film sessions and whatnot, and we just talked for maybe 15, 20 minutes about things that we can control, things that we need to be better at, things that he's seen on the film or throughout the course of the games, and vice versa. So it's just that constant communication that we're on the same page, that you know, even though he's coaching right now, he's still a competitor and wants to win, and you know, he's an unbelievable leader.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey James, how's it going? You know, there's been a lot made of the fact that you, Kevin, and Kyrie have only played 6.5 or 7 games, I guess, total together as a unit since the trade. I'm wondering if you think that's something that you guys will be able to overcome as a trio, specifically you three, just not having that time that you played together, you three, or if you think that's something that, you know, obviously because you guys aren't practicing or haven't been able to practice since there's really no practice time. Is that something that you guys are just gonna have to deal with and figure out on the fly?
You got 3 of the most elite basketball players in the game today, and probably that, you know, that's ever played, you know, in the sense of skill wise. So that's not the problem. The problem is the detailed things that I've talked about earlier, you know, the things that we all as a group need to do and focus on. You know, our shots, like we know our roles. Like I know my role, I know what I'm supposed to be doing on the court, and I think everybody on the team knows their role. I know when I have Kevin and Kai and the rest of the guys on the floor that, you know, I don't have to score 30 points to win games. And we've seen that all year. Like I can be a playmaker. I can do whatever necessary to win the game. I think everybody feels the same way. So it's not about scoring the basketball. It's about the other things that probably won't still show up on a stat sheet, but that will get us wins. And once we get that, it's gonna be tough for teams to beat us, like I said.
Back to Greg.
Scoring won't be an issue for us at all.
Back to Greg Logan with Newsday.
James, I just want to follow up on that. You were talking about, how you could facilitate everybody starting to score better. Can you just describe, your philosophy in terms of being a playmaker more than a scorer, and how you feel you are going to impact this team going forward?
I think just reading the game. I don't go into games saying, well, tonight I'm gonna be a playmaker or tonight I'm gonna be a scorer. I read and take what the defense gives me, and it's possession by possession. So and for me, I draw so much attention that I'm able to get guys shots and get guys easy baskets, at the rim. So it's possession by possession, and it's the flow of the game. I let the game dictate on how aggressive or not I need to be. And that's pretty simple, man. I think for us as a unit, we just need to tighten up on a little bit of things, and coming down the stretch. I think we got 6 games left, so focus on each possession on both ends of the ball, defensively and offensively. How can we have each other's back? How can we bring energy? Guys off the bench, how can you come in and impact the game? And it's not necessarily just scoring. Guys like Bruce come in the game and change the game defensively, change the game with his energy. And, I had a meeting with the guys earlier today about that, in the sense of, you guys are going to win us a lot of games. Obviously, Kevin, Kyrie, and myself get, a lot of the credit, but, we need, from top to bottom, we need every individual on this team in order for us to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. And, I made it clear to those guys today that they're very valuable and they're very important in what we're trying to do. So just make sure our energy is up and we're cheering and we're excited for each other, and we're all on the same page.
Last question, back to Malika Andrews with ESPN.
James, I just kind of once and for all, this absence, the time you've taken away, it's the longest you've been away from the game. Has it changed or affected your outlook on what you think this team can do this season at all?
No. I just no. Like we're sitting in this second spot, and we've had so many different lineups. That right there tells you how great or good or whatever you want to call it that this team is. So once we, I think the most important thing for us going into the postseason is health. And this season has been so condensed. You see a lot of guys are going down because of the amount of games. So I think for us, our mindset is, all right, if we can come to this postseason healthy, we are right there. We got a chance, and that's it right there within itself. So finish these last 6 games out strong. Focus on the things that we need to focus on.